Recording in progress. That's what I always need to hear. So this is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor over here at Samson Properties with the session today of the learning trails. We are going to take a deep dive for you to help you understand exactly what our learning trails is, what it means, how we created it, why we created it, to help you get on the right path of building out your business. Now, if grab pencil and paper if you can. Andy, you can't because you're driving, but I want you to go ahead and jot down a couple of things just in case. First off, if you have not been to my website yet, I want you to, obviously when we're done this call, or you can do it when we're chatting, go to my website. It is lynnhamilton.samsonproperties.net. It is the same platform as yours, your first name, last name, .samsonproperties.net. That's taking you to my website. Now, here's what I want you to understand. As you eventually build your website out, you are building it out to communicate with your SOI, your sphere of influence, the people that you know, and to have a safe place for them to go 24/7 to get information that they might be looking for, or that may be pertinent to where they're at. That could be first-time home buyers. It could be move down, seller. I mean, just so wherever they're at, you can and you should, as a business, create your website to reflect the needs of the consumers that you're wanting to draw in. That being said, my website is designed primarily for you, our Samson real estate agents, because you are my SOI. So I have added some special features on my site. One of them, when you go there, you'll see the bars across the top, and it says Agent Resource Center. There you have it. That is designed for you, our agents. In the drop-down box, you will see the first tab is for handouts and bonus stuff. I use that as a backup to Cardinal Nest and a quick reference if you're needing a handout that I may be talking about in any of our classes or sessions. You'll also see the next tab down is common mistakes that agents make. That is an accumulation of 23 quick mini videos, 3 to 5 minutes apiece, where I share with you common mistakes that agents make in the real estate industry and how to avoid them, and which classes actually may support you learning how to do that particular thing better, so you're not making the mistakes. One of the next tabs down you're going to see is how-to directions or how-to instructions. Often when I am training, teaching, driving, I'm not answering emails. So I wanted to make sure, and this is the tab that we first started with, is that you had a quick, fast, easy resource to go to. If you say, okay, I forgot, she was talking about doing QR codes and I forgot, there you go. We've got the how-to instructions on there. So at some point, go in, take a look at everything that's on there. The next tab down is listen and learn. Now, listen and learn is under a makeover right now. I'm almost done with it and ready to post it, but it is the Thursday recordings of either the Learning Trails 1 o'clock class or the 2:30 Master Your Marketing class. It is not fancy smancy. It is recording straight from the Zoom meeting, but it gives you the information or the refresher if you need to quickly go back into it, or if you've missed it, can tap into it. Now, that being said, what I want you to do as you're looking at my website, understanding that you, our agents, are my SOI, I want you to look at it and ask yourself, okay, so if this non-techie person can make this happen on her site, what can I potentially map out to do on my site? Can I add or learn how to add or ask to help get a tab added that says Resource Center. And under Resource Centers, you may have a page with links to your monthly newsletter. You could have links on there to free reports. You could have links on there or a page on there for first-time home buyers, if that's what one of your specialties are going to be. So whatever it is that you are going to customize in your business, you can and should create some sort of a go-to reference on your website as well, just like I've done for you, our agents. Okay. Now, also remember on the website, you also have a blog. Now, until you make your first post on a blog, it will not show up. But wait, we've solved that problem. If you're sitting there going, I don't know how to do a blog, I don't know how to write a blog, I don't know how I do, I don't know how, I don't know how, I don't know how, not a problem. Because in my how-to instructions, we have the step-by-step instructions, quick videos on there to walk you through not only going to Cardinal Nest, typing in blog in the search bar. We already have a library or an index of 30, give or take, ready to go. Grab, save, post, blog. That'll start conversations with those that are paying attention to it. We also show you how to add a link onto your email address signature line that will drive people back to your blog. We've even talked about how to go about leveraging that blog, letting the people know that it is in your SOI. Hey, I've got a great blog. I would love you to go check it out. I would love to hear your feedback on it. You can have a QR code that goes directly to that blog. So all those things, it's all called leverage. You got one thing and we're leveraging it in 5 different ways. All of that is available for you with quick and easy how-to instructions, screen-by-screen shots, step-by-step instructions. And when I've got people that are older than I am who are non-techie and are able to follow the instructions, I know that it's good and is set for everyone. So there you have it. There's some things to go check out at your leisure and at your convenience. Now, as I mentioned, today's session, we're going to be talking about the learning trails. And let me just give you the quick backstory. I have been training agents now for probably almost 20 years. Excuse me. Trained over 6,000 of them. What I have found as I was training way back when is agents would come into a brokerage. The brokerage would boast about the fact that they've got all this magnificent training and hundreds of hours and blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is that it's these massive pieces and nobody knew where to start, which class to start with, and what would come next. What would come next, what would come next, and what should come next. So I use the analogy, if you've gone through Jumpstart, which I hope you have, sessions 1, I do the introduction and I talk about using the visualization of a puzzle to put this whole training component together for you. So if you envision a puzzle, you've taken the box lid off and you dump it out. You've got all these puzzle pieces. That represents all the classes that are available. And you're looking at this pile going, okay, that's great, but I don't even flipping know where to start. So here's what we do. We turn all the pieces right side up. We've already done that. You don't need to do that. We identify the 4 corners of the puzzle and all the puzzle pieces that have a flat edge, which indicates that it's part of the framework of that puzzle. Makes sense, right? So from there, we have put this together in order and methodically for you. If you think about the 4 corners, that represents Jumpstart Session 1, Jumpstart Session 2, Jumpstart Session 3, and Jumpstart Session 4. This leads us right in to the learning trails. So after seeing dozens, if not hundreds of agents come in the front door and out the back of not only this business, but in brokerages all over, I said, time out. Enough's enough. This is not working. This is not making sense. So we're going to put this together methodically and in order, which is, I think, part of the reason that Samson hired me immediately when we got to chat, because I told them and shared with them what my concept was of putting together a learning educational component within a brokerage. So there you have it. All right. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I have my list in front of me, each of the classes that we have available. I'm going to go through them in order. This Learning Trails track sheet is, in fact, on my website under handouts. When we get done with this call, I'm going to go over there and make sure that it is. If not, I can upload it just like that. But what I want you to do as you're listening along, I want you to ask yourself, have I taken that class? If you just listen to it, that don't count, because every class has needed, I'm going to say required tasks that need to be done that you are able to then implement into your business. So on the handout, the way it looks, it's got the order, the suggested order. It's got the class topic, and then 3 columns for you to check off. Have you taken that one yet? Yes or no? But the more important component, have you completed and mastered the tasks or the techniques that are taught within that class? So that's where I want you to jot down some notes on the side, because I want you to take a tally of how many of the classes you have actually already taken. And then we'll ask at the end for you to drop those numbers in the chat box for me. Okay? So let's go down the learning trails. Now that you know why it was created, let's walk through them. So in order, number 0 is kind of the introduction to the learning trails and why Jumpstart is so important. Donnie has often said that if he could make Jumpstart mandatory for all agents, whether they're brand new in the industry, seasoned, new to Samson, whatever, he would do it, because he absolutely believes in the value that it has. When I've got seasoned agents who have been in this business 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, 30 years in the business, and they sit down and listen and work through Jumpstart every single time, I have someone come back to me and goes, oh my God, I never learned that. I totally forgot about that. I never implemented that. I never understood why that was an important piece of the puzzle. Now I get it. Now I know we're good to go. So if you are a seasoned agent, here is how I recommend you listen to any of these classes. When you're listening to it, it is a listen, stop, do the task, especially in Jumpstart. From there, any of the other classes that we do, they all have a handout. If you are retrieving the class out of Samson University, below the video is where the handout or any bonus material will be sitting for you to download and print out. If you are attending live, the HQDUs or any of the other training that I do in the field, I always have a handout. Why, you may ask? Because we are all a mix of 4 personality styles and 3 learning styles. The personality styles are the DISC, the D, the I, the S, the C. And yes, we've done a whole training in that because I'm a certified DISC instructor and have been for years. But we also have 3 learning styles. We are either auditory, visual, and or kinesthetic. Audio, obviously, you need to hear it and you need to hear it over and over again. Visual, you need to see it. You do better live But, we can't always make that happen, unfortunately. Kinesthetics, you need to have it in your hands. You need to have it to look at so you can write on it and mark through. That, gang, is why I make sure that every class has a handout for the visual and kinesthetic learners. It is also verbal for the auditory learners, and the D, the I, the S, the C personality styles are incorporated into all of the training components that I do. You just don't realize it, but I know that it's there. Okay. All right. So the introduction and why Jumpstart, I just reiterated it for you. So that's the reason and the background behind it. So in the first thing that's on the list is Jumpstart Session 1. Jumpstart Session 1 is going to offer you 28 pieces of your puzzle. The best way to go through Jumpstart Session 1, especially, is to have your printout, listen to a section, stop, and then do the task. Listen to the next section, stop, and do the task. Work through it. It does you no good to just listen to it while you're driving, because when you get to where you're going to be and you get out of the car and I ask you what are the 28 pieces, trust me, you are not going to be able to tell me. Your brain is good, not that good. So this is why we say stop, listen, stop, do the task. Listen, stop, do the task. Now, if you're a seasoned agent and you go, I've been around for a few years, great. I want you to listen, stop, and here's the questions you need to ask yourself. Am I doing this? How well am I doing it? Does it need to be updated or made any better? And if you are absolutely content that on a scale of 1 to 5, you can give it a 5, that you're nailing it, then you're good. Go on to the next task. At least we know that you have those puzzle pieces laid down for the foundation for us to build off of. Okay. Moving on, once you have finished that, you will move on to Jumpstart Session 2. Jumpstart Session 2, again, is continuing to build the foundation of your business. It is continuing to add those fundamental foundational pieces. And it also talks a little bit about mindset. Gang, I cannot tell you how many agents I've seen go out of this business because they or someone that was close to them had the worst case of stinky thinking on the planet. This business is a roller coaster ride. The highs are highs and the lows are lows. Life is a series of highs and lows, just like a roller coaster. So I do take a few minutes and talk to you about what are some great go-to sources, affirmations, getting rid of the negative. Got a couple of fun little exercises for you to do there. But that is why it has been included in there as one of the fundamental components of the foundation of your business. All right. Moving on, the next class you would take in the learning trails is the Jumpstart Session 3. Jumpstart Session 3 is all about your database. Gang, your database is a flipping gold mine. And I am always blown away when, especially a seasoned agent says, well, I don't have a database, or I don't. Now, hear me on this one. I don't care which platform you use to monitor or to build your database out in. I'll repeat that. I don't care. I don't care if you come to me and say, Lynn, I've got everybody in my Gmail contacts. Perfect. The concepts and the technique that you're going to learn in Jumpstart Session 3 will apply even if you're using your Gmail account. If you say, Lynn, I'm using Outlook, I'm okay with that. You can do the same thing within Outlook. If you say, Lynn, I'm getting my stuff into Bold Trails, which formerly was KV Core, great. We're going to give you the concept and the technique of how to sort and organize and tag all of your contacts. And if you say, Lynn, I'm using Lofty, great, same principles apply. If you come to me and say, Lynn, I've got them in Excel, I'm okay with that. If you come to me and say, Lynn, I don't have a computer. I do not have a computer. I do not know how to computer. I've got all my contacts in 3x5 file cards or in the old fashioned Rolodex or even in a handwritten out phone book. I'm okay with that too, because the concepts in Jumpstart 3 about your database is going to help you organize it. That way it can be sorted out and built out. You should be able to tell me how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's contacts you have in your SOI. There are 4 other categories in your database. Obviously, there's your SOI, there's your transaction partners, there's your service providers, there are other agents, and there's Samson agents. So kind of 5, 4.5. Okay. You should have your database broken down into those categories. You can use hashtags, you can use labels. I don't care what platform you're using. You will be surprised how much better your life is going to be when you get that put together. It always cracks me up when agents have been in the industry for a long time and do not have basic service providers as their go-to source that they can turn to and they can recommend or refer for their clients or their SOI. That is a fundamental piece of the puzzle, and OMG. I'm just saying. All right. So in Jumpstart Session 3, you will learn 16 other techniques to get your database working like a slot machine or a vending machine. More like a vending machine. You put the money in, you push the button, you know exactly what you're going to get out. That is a powerful database. Now, once you've got all that done, you're ready to move on to Jumpstart Session 4. Jumpstart Session 4 addresses the marketing department of your business. Now, this is again a huge, huge, huge common mistake that agents make is they're just kind of running around, you know, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. I hate doing this, but somebody said you got to do it. Wrong, 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 wrong. Stop. In Jumpstart Session 4, I introduced the concept to you of working on your business and in your business. You have to be able to block off time to work on your business in order to be able to work in your business. Working in your business is what you have to have a real estate license for. But without working on the business and knowing which hats that is and what tasks go with those different hats, you will never get to the point that you can consistently work in the business. The two go hand in hand. Did you know that there are 24 options for marketing your business and yourself? Anybody can list off all 24 of them? I'll wait. Okay, I guess not. So let's move on. In Jumpstart Session 4, the power of that session is we address the 24 variables that you can target and go after. The analogy that I use in there is, why are there 4 tires on your car? And why are there 4 legs on the chair that you're probably sitting on? It's for balance and stability. Without having balance and stability in your business, you might as well just quit now. I'll save you some heartache and I'll save you some money. The reason that that is so important is the market does change and flex a little bit. Agents often complain about or cry about back in 08, 09, 010 when the market crashed because it had bolted up and then it took a nosedive. Gang, I never felt that crash. Why? I had been blessed to be able to attend a Master Your Marketing workshop with the late Todd Bates. Broke my heart a couple years ago when I found out he had passed away. What he taught me that then I implemented into my business was the four pillars, the four legs, the four tires of my marketing department. And what he taught us was how to recession proof your marketing. So, of my four legs, I had two that fell into the recession proof component. So, when the market shifted and did its thing, I just kept on going. Okay. It did not faze me in the least because I had a consistent drip of business coming in from my various four pillars or five that I developed out and was working on. Never felt the crash. I teach you all of that in that Jumpstart session 4. Then I ask you to step back based off the list that's there beside your database, which will always be one of your pillars. What are the other pillars of marketing specialty can you get excited about building out, learning, perfecting, mastering, repeat, 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 repeat. So the I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this bullshit, sorry, doesn't work. Because most people, from a marketing standpoint, they may not need you today. They may need you in 6 or 9 months. But yet you, the real estate agent, gave up after 2, 3, or 4 attempts or tries because it didn't work. Well, no joke. It goes back to the fundamental that I teach you in Jumpstart 1. People will buy or sell when the home no longer meets their needs. It doesn't matter what the market's doing, what the world is doing, what the economy is doing, what the interest rates are doing. When that home no longer meets their needs, they will need to sell or buy, or sometimes sell and buy. All right. Gone is the day that we've got 2% interest and people can just go fog a mirror and, oh, yeah, let's go buy. Those days are gone and over. So let's get real about what the market is doing. So this is why Jumpstart Session 4 absolutely is the backbone of your marketing business. People need to hear from you 9 to 18 times, or I've heard 9 to 12 times before they realize, ooh, I like the information you're providing. It looks like you can bring me some value. And oh, the time is right now that I need to buy or sell, but yet you, the agent, has given up after the second, third, or fourth attempt. Those are stats and numbers that have been around forever in a lifetime, and they're monitored every year. So I'm going to make sure that you don't fall into that same trap and that same problem. But there are 24 options that you can pick which ones you get excited about. From that, you now have your tires identified, your pillars, your posts, whatever you want to call them. And it is our Master Your Marketing 2:30 Zoom call on Thursdays that each week we take a different topic pillar and we take a deep dive into it. And I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, how much it's going to cost, what the numbers need to be, yada, 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 yada. And that is what we do on that Thursday 2:30 call, which is why that is so important for agents as well. Okay. All right. So let's pretend you have got through Jumpstart session 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've got your foundation pieces. You got your mindset. You've got all those things in place. You got your database all cleaned up and now is a money-making machine for you. You've got your 4 tires decided on which ones you want to build out. Now, the Thursday's classes will inflate those tires with air so that you can go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So where do you go next? All right. If you are then in a position going, okay, I know it's important to reach out and contact my sphere, my SOI, but I don't know what to say, which is I hear all the time. We have done 2 classes that are phenomenal for you. One is conversation starters. Now, I think it may be listed as scripts and conversation starters. Frankly, I have a love-hate relationship with scripts because scripts work really well when both parties have the script to follow along. But since most of the time agents learn the script, they call, they go according to their script, and the person on the other end of the phone doesn't respond the way the script had it responding, they're lost and they don't know what to do, so they give up. All right. Scripts, I know I'm gonna get myself in hot water over that one. But scripts don't always work. I would rather teach you key questions and conversation starters. So again, we do the introduction in the conversation starters. The other class that again, and these are all available in Samson University, is best one-liners. Best one-liners. What to say. And sometimes it's just a sentence, but I give it to you in a breakdown. If you're talking to someone, here's a great one-liner. If you need to reconnect with someone that you haven't heard from in a while, here's 2 or 3 great one-liners. If you need to send someone an email and you're like, I've given you the best one-liner, the best question to ask, the best way to start a conversation. It is all right there for you in best one-liners and conversation starters. So those are available for you. All right, so moving along in your learning trails, you're going, okay, so I've got my business foundation strong and steady. I'm practicing my little one-liners. I know what I need to say when I need to say them. Again, for conversation starter purposes, I need to make sure that my buyer consultation and my seller consultation are rock stars. Oh, wait, we've already got that for you as well. So for the last 3 years, if you've been with Samson Properties after I have arrived, you have a buyer consultation and a seller consultation packet at the ready for you to be able to download. You customize the front page and you're good to go. Yes, I know that there are some other ones in the resource that Donnie has provided as well. That's some great stuff. The format that I use on mine, again, a lot of the same information, but I've taken into consideration the D, the I, the S, the C, and the 3 learning styles of the person that you may be sitting down with to make sure that it speaks to them, not you. Okay. So we also have numerous recorded sessions, not only in Samson University, which sits within Cardinal Nest, but also on my website. There have been several recorded sessions of buyer and seller consultations where we go through it page by page with you. I remind you where you need to customize. I give you examples of what to say on certain pages, what to hit real quick, and who you're hitting with that one, and then move on to the next. I explain to you why many of the format is done in bullet points. Your D, S, and C's want the bullet points. And I explain all that to you in those training sessions and components as well. So now that gives you a chance to master your skills in doing a buyer and a seller consultation, and even how to address the compensation issue. As a reminder, you do not negotiate your commission with the client. I'll repeat that again in case y'all went to sleep. You do not negotiate your commission with the client. Your commission is negotiated with your brokerage, your broker. What you are negotiating on behalf of the brokerage, you're negotiating the compensation. There is a huge difference. Don't screw that one up. All right. And again, in those classes, I tell you exactly why. All right. So you now have a phenomenal buyer and seller consultation. You've got one at the ready. You know how to customize the front page for that particular buyer or seller. You also know, because you've seen it in my how-to tab, how to create a flip book. If you want to be able to send and present, if you're doing it virtual, or just send it, a flip book of the buyer and the seller consultation. There you go. Again, you want to up your game? We got you. All right. So now that you've got that mastered, what comes next in your learning trail? One of the next things we recommend is because the importance of reaching out to on a regular basis to your SOI. We introduce to you and make sure you know that Samson Properties provides you a newsletter. In fact, you got two options. You have that beautiful 4-page that you got to customize a little bit more. It can be mailed out from the print center, 200 minimum, $1.50 a piece, and it's what, $3.50 a month to do that. But if you're going, Lynn, my budget's not there yet, I hear you. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. We now have, we've had it for over a year now. We have a 1-page grab and go, pop by press, whatever they're calling it, newsletter that is 1 sheet of paper, front and back, with 4 articles in it that are directly guided and directed towards your potential clients or homeowners or potential renters, whatever. So it's a broad base. All you have to do is go in, learn how to add your photo, your name, phone number, email, and website, and it's basically good to go. Now, frankly, I would rather have you hand out a newsletter than a business card any day of the week. I'm that important. I mean, that newsletter is that important. We also, in that class of how to leverage newsletters, reports, and your website, how to leverage those. It's all about leveraging. It's all about taking one thing and using it in 5 or 6 different ways. That is leverage. You are not reinventing the wheel. So when you're ready, after your buyer and seller consultations are in place and ready, the next step that I would say would be in your learning trails is learn how to make sure that you know about the free reports, the blog, the newsletters, and whatever else, and then how to make them work with each other, not against each other. Okay. From there, in your learning trails, the next component would be learning how to take free reports or an article from the newsletter and leveraging it with your vendor of the month spotlight. Now, if you have not done Jumpstart Session 3, you can't do this part. That is why we recommend these in order. So you've got that in place. You're building out your vendors because you learned that technique in Jumpstart 3. So now you've got vendors, and I share with you how to leverage free reports, an article that may show up in the newsletter, and your vendors as a vendor spotlight. With your vendors, you are looking to build a reciprocal referral relationship. It is not a one-way street. Gimme, 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 because I'm broke. I have no contacts. I don't know what to do. I'm too lazy to work my business. Just gimme, gimme, gimme. No, You're looking to be able to refer them and in hopes that they refer you. That is a reciprocal referral relationship, and that's what you're driving towards. Okay, so you've got that one down and mastered. Your next class in your learning trails should be creating that wow factor, and that is what it's entitled, creating the wow factor. It is to help you secure a stronger referral-based business. Sometimes it's the fun little things that we do that create that wow moment with your clients, your SOI, that will leverage you into referrals and a referral-based business. But again, without having your database in order, Jumpstart 3, and your pillars, Jumpstart 4, this one just can't jump out of the blue and pop into place. All right. So that's going to give you some techniques there. Again, it's fun, it's lighthearted. And for us creative ones, we love it. But again, the purpose of it is to help you build a stronger referral-based business for yourself. All right. The next one in your learning trails is common mistakes agents make. Yeah, I've done a whole class on it. We've recorded it. but I've also now have those 23 key quick videos on my website under the learning trail or under Agent Resource Center. It literally says common mistakes, and you can go in and they're anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, usually at the most. And you can go through all 23 of them. You can listen a few at a time, come back the next day, listen to a few more at a time. But it's going to remind you of the common mistakes that I have seen agents make and how, with Samson's help, you get to avoid them. I'm saving you some pain and agony. Okay. All right. Moving on. In reference and building out of your Jumpstart Session 4, you've determined your pillars. We have already pre-recorded sessions on if you decide that you want to recession-proof your marketing and learn to work with attorneys, we've got it. I did it for years. It was magnificent. The other one, or another one that we have on, is home buyer workshops for working with first-time home buyers. If that is one of your hot buttons, and if that becomes one of your pillars, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything to do with it. We just taught this one yesterday. I don't remember where I was at, but we taught it yesterday. And this afternoon, in our 2:30 class, our topic in Master Your Marketing is how to do a seller's workshop. So if you want to take larger quantities and feed them through the funnel, that option is for you. The next training video that is already available, if one of your marketing pillars is going to be geo-farming, we've got a whole class on geo-farming. I give you the do's, the don'ts, the numbers that need to be tracked first before you invest a penny into geo-farming. We talk about breaking the geo-farm down into 3 components, because within a geo-farm, you have your homeowners, your renters, and your non-owner occupied. We have already done postcards available in resources for you for homeowners, renters, and absentee owners. We have done in-depth training on geo-farming to homeowners, geo-farming to renters, and sometimes that ties into your first-time homebuyer workshops. We have already had available and do have available intense training on absentee owners, whether they want to sell or whether they want to potentially invest in a second or third property in that area. We give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on each individual bullseye, eye of the target, not just target. We don't throw Jello on the wall and hope it sticks. We're going for the bullseye, and we've got that broken down. If one of your pillars is about open houses, we already have the training video that's been done and other training components on doing a good, better, or best open house. Even as seasoned agents, I've had agents come back to me and have listened to that and said, oh my God, that's clever. I never thought about that. There you go. We got some good stuff for you. If one of your pillars that you want to specialize in is for sale by owners, I am giving you what I paid, it was either $1,200 or $1,500 to learn. I'm giving it to you for free. For sale by owners, a different approach. It's a game changer and a winner. If after Jumpstart Session 4, you have decided that you want to do either a vendor fair, a bridal fair, a trade show, or any of those, vendor or trade show fields, we have done a whole class on that. I used to do the bridal bazaar in San Diego for years, which is what forced me into doing home buyer workshops because we had to funnel them through. But I give you the good, the bad, the ugly, the what to do, what not to do, where's the best placement, I just give it to you. I give you the whole thing. All right. So if that is ooh, I like that, I'm going to give you every tip that I've got on working it. If working with move down or senior sellers is your hot button, We've done massive classes on that, and we've got more to come on that one as well. We have recently done a class for the overlooked investor that is a first-time investor. We've done a class on that. We're doing more on the seller's workshop, how to do a seller's workshop similar to a buyer's workshop, but what are the differences? We have already done sessions on absentee owners and understanding a 1031 exchange. Because as you hear me say, you have the ability to financially ruin somebody or financially devastate someone. You do not. This is where that has often come in at. I know of an agent, not one of ours, but did the sale of a property and proceeded to not know anything about the 1031 exchange and proceeded to end up costing that seller $30,000. And their response was, oh, well, I didn't know that would make a difference. Oh, well, they were going to have to pay taxes anyway. That client was PO to the gills. So if that is something that you are needing and wanting to work, let's make sure you got all the tools. So you come out looking like the superstar and knowing exactly what you need to advise them on. There you go. Okay. The next class in the learning trails is understanding the DISC personality styles. It allows you to take a sneak peek into what you may potentially be. And then part 2 is how to identify what your client is and what is the best connection with them based off what they say, what they do, or any of that stuff. Okay. Oh. Now, in session 1 of the DISC, I offer you a bonus. Yes, as a certified DISC instructor, I do have the ability to access a test. There is a charge for it. I believe the one that I have access to costs too much for most agents. So I don't want to go that route. However, I will give a plug. Tony Robbins, on his site, it's tonyrobbins.com/DISC. I provide that information for you in that DISC Part 1 class. You can go and take his assessment. You pay the $20, $25, whatever it is now, to get the first report. You do not need the $50 and $90 reports. You just need the basic one. If you do that, if you choose to do that, and you email it to me, that will trigger me to reach out to you and set up a 30-minute one-on-one with you as a bonus to go over where your strength is, but where your blind spot is as well. It's going to be an eye-opener. So that is part of the DISC, part 1, part 2. DISC is fun. It's funny. It's a little complicated at times, but once you get the basic concept of it, game changer. You turn into the chameleon. Now, have any of you seasoned agents ever gone and done a buyer or a seller consultation and thought to yourself, nailed it, I did a dang good job, I rocked it, and you're just so proud of yourself, until you find out 2 days later they went and listed or bought with somebody else? I mean, anybody that ever happened to? Yeah, that's because you didn't understand the DISC concept. You didn't understand their style was different than yours. And by not understanding and not acknowledging and catching certain things, you are missing out on over half of your potential business. I don't care that you just went in and did a knock it out of the park buyer consultation or seller consultation. If you still did not do the follow-up, how did I do? And not understand DISC, you've lost them and they're gone forever. Okay? Game changer. That's for the more advanced agents that say, I'm tackling this. All right. One of the next steps in our learning trails is know your numbers. And it is more about what numbers you need to know, what you need to be tracking, and it's going to give you some eye openers. The next one in your learning trails, which can be done at any time, is your business plan. And I recommend you break it down quarterly. I have seen so many agents blow smoke with what they're going to do in the course of the year and then not complete or do a darn part of it. I almost said damn part of it. Darn part of it because, oh, I've got time. I've got time. I've got time. I've got time. But when you got it quarterly, it changes your entire mindset and brain. There you go. There's your takeaway. All right. The next one in the learning trails, again, which can be tackled at any time, is realtor safety. Granted, I think it's September, August or September is Realtor Safety Month. But do you realize that there's about 40 to 60 agents a year that get murdered in this industry? Murdered. That doesn't include the ones that are robbed, attacked, beaten, locked in closets, locked in basements, locked in the trunk of their car. It's real out there. And so we've done a couple of classes on and recorded a couple with the lead self-defense instructor for the police academy on things that you as the average agent can do to protect yourself. So realtor safety, in my opinion, is non-negotiable. You need to know, you need to be aware, you need to remind yourself. And I'll tell you a little secret. These things right here that we all tote around, this, they are saying, is one of your best weapons. Think about how heavy this is. You take an upward swing into someone's jaw, you're taking them down. So there are other and various means of personal defense mechanisms that is strictly your personal call and your personal preference. So with that, go ahead and know that that is available in Samson University for you to learn about as well. Okay. The next one that we have on your learning trails, and we just started doing these at some of the HQDUs. In fact, I got one coming up. I'm so excited. It is, and we've already done a recording of this on my website page under Listen and Learn. It's how to use, understand, and leverage the market trends that Donnie talks about in his Friday weekend update, and contract trends, which is that email that you get every Tuesday from Cardinal Title. Most of you look at it and go delete, but I share with you how to grab certain pieces out of that and how to leverage that and use that to your advantage. That should probably go up higher on the list because that is a good one. All right. As a fun little bonus, I have available for you as well is what's on my bookshelf. I've often been asked, what are the books that I've read over time that have just been inspirational and motivational for me? And so I have done the what's on my bookshelf. I do believe it's on one of the pages in fact, I just did a video on it, on my site for you as well. Okay. Now, as of this date and time, Samson University or Samson Cardinal Nest is going through a mini makeover on the Cardinal Nest. They are adding a page for me. So I will be able to eventually have all my stuff up there. In the meantime, it's being housed on my website. That is why we've got the two going, because I can quickly add something immediately on my site. To go on to the Cardinal Nest, I've got to go through sources. And there's only a few people that have access to do that, which from a business standpoint makes perfect sense. So know that my site is your go-to source. Cardinal Nest is also your go-to source. But if you can't find one, go directly to mine. I've got it broken down in channels for you. You should be good to go. Not the last, but one of the other final pieces in your learning trails is understanding the value of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are the tasks that you as an agent need to be doing every day? Now, I'm saying every day in which you work on your business. That's calls and contacts. That is text messages. That is emails. That is market snapshots. That is adding new contacts to your database. And that could be other agents, your SOI. It could be transaction partners. It could be service providers. All of that counts. But the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 becomes a very valuable part of your business. And yes, wait for it. Shocker, shocker, shocker. On my site, as well as in resources on the Cardinal, in resources in the Cardinal Nest, you can find daily tasks /54321. You can search it either way. You can get it from my site. You can get it from the Nest as well. So it's there for you. That maps out a good chunk of your learning trails. That is the purpose, and that is the reason that we have broke it down into what needs to go next. So one builds off the other. You're putting that puzzle together. Okay. You don't start in the middle and try to, stick pieces here, there, and everywhere. You start with your 4 corners, you build your side and your top and your bottom. That's jumpstart. Then we start slowly building in until it all comes together, and you've got a powerhouse of a business that is unstoppable in any market, in any market condition. And you, my friends, are golden. Okay. Those things will help you build a sustainable business that will withhold any shift in any market. Trust me, I've been there and I've done that. All right. This winds up our time. I can't believe the time has gone by so fast. I hope that this has been valuable for you. I am going to hit download as soon as we finish. It will be up on my site on the Listen and Learn relatively soon, and we'll be ready to help you start building and understand what you need to take and do next. Okay, my friends, remember, I don't care what you know. I want to know what you're doing with what you know. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for taking the time to join me. I hope that this has been valuable. Feel free to shoot me an email and let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. lhamilton@samsonproperties.net. And I will see you being successful, and I'll take the blame. It is my pleasure. All right. Go have a great one, and we'll see you back in our next session, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you all. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye.